Hey, welcome back to the Homestead. Today I want to talk to you guys about one of the biggest challenges that Doug and I have had living off-grid in the past 8 years. If you guys are new to our channel, my husband Doug and I live off-grid with no wind or solar power at all. We live like the pioneer lifestyle. And a big question that we have here is probably one of the biggest is what do we do for refrigeration? Come on. Well, come on into the outdoor kitchen. So this is our outdoor kitchen. A long time ago, homesteaders, pioneers used to have an outdoor kitchen where they would prepare their foods, things from the garden, their canning, the preserving, because it's too hot. We have a wood burning cook stove, and in the summer months it's just way too hot to cook in the home. So we do everything out here and it works great. Refrigeration here on our homestead has evolved so much over the past 8 years because when we first got here we didn't want to spend all the money on a solar system. To run a refrigerator. We really didn't know what we were doing. So we lived around the Amish and we would go into their households and kind of see how they would run their household. And they had these gigantic freezers, and which didn't work. And what they would do is they would go to like an English person's house who had like 20 or 30 freezers, and they would freeze 5-gallon buckets. So the Amish would go and get these 5-gallon buckets for $4. A bucket, and that's what they would put in these freezers, and then they would put their food. Or a lot of them would have ice houses where in the winter months when the ice would freeze, they would go ahead and cut chunks of ice out and put them in their ice house, and that ice will last the whole year until the next winter, and that's what they would put into their big freezers, and then they would keep the things that like their perishable things. So Doug and I were going to emulate what was working for them, and we went ahead and found a gigantic freezer. Unfortunately, it was really big. It really wouldn't fit into our log home, so we had to put it up in our barn. But the barn is way over here, and we live way over here. And when I have to get food from the barn and I have to carry it to the house, and I'm going back and forth, carrying the food, and it was rainy or it was freezing, if it's cold, if it's snowy, it got old very quickly. So that wasn't working. So I had Doug on the hunt to find me a smaller freezer, a non-working freezer, that we could put in the back room of our cabin to make it easier on me. And in the meantime, I'm going to make some salad dressing for later, for the rest of the week for Doug and I. But we looked for a smaller freezer and we put it in the back room of our cabin. And over time, I was bending over because it would melt and you'd have to clean it out. It was melting because we had no way for the water to drip out of it. So one day, Doug and I were shopping at a local flea market, and I saw this. I was like, oh, look at this. I found this 100-year-old icebox, and it was in great condition. So we looked at it. I'm like, Doug, come here. You have to look at this. And we went ahead, and we thought, this is our solution because it had shelves. We could put the ice in it. I could just reach in and out like what the modern refrigerators look like, and it was going to be, our solution. So that's what we did. We got it. So we got rid of the old freezer, we gave it to another Amish couple, and we got the refrigerator and we started putting the ice in it, and I loved it. It worked out great, and we put it in our house. But then I found in the summer months that it got really, really warm and the ice would melt much quicker. So I thought in the night it'd still be cooler out in this outdoor kitchen, so we put it out here, and we had it out here for a few years and it worked great. But then, over time, the seals and stuff weren't the best on it, and so our daughter really liked it, so we decided she wanted it, we gave it to her, and we went to our next plan. Lots of salad in the garden, lots of salad dressing. So now the next solution was we went and got one of these great big Igloo Coolers at Costco, and this was before the Yetis and all that were out. So we decided, hey, this will work out great. So I put some little screens in there, or whatever, like shelves from our old little outdoor refrigerator, and I put them in there, and then we put ice underneath it, and it worked because we really didn't have a lot of cold storage because we've been so used to preserving our foods and kind of living and fermenting our foods, living how we do, that I didn't need a lot of refrigerator space. So this worked out fine. As you can see, we were using bags of ice in here, and we weren't using as much as we were before when we were using the bigger freezer. But on a recent trip to Lehman's in Kidron, Ohio, we found a propane refrigerator that could work outdoors, and it was like the perfect fit. It was like the glove that fit. I mean, I was so ecstatic. In case you didn't know, Lehman's is a family-run business in Kidron, Ohio, and they have everything for off-grid living or just living a simpler life, from refrigerations to oil lamps to things for your kitchen. They have it all. So I moved everything from the Igloo into the refrigerator. And the cool thing about this is it even has a freezer so I can have ice cubes. Because over these past 8 years, I've really learned I don't need a lot of perishable things. I look back and I had the big double door refrigerator, freezer and all that, and we had so much stuff, and I don't really need that much stuff because Doug and I eat in season. The neat thing about this refrigerator, it has 3 power sources. So you can run it off a battery bank, off your propane, or you can just plug it into your house. And we always talk about having functionality, being able to use things more than in one area. So if Doug and I wanted to take this, if we were tailgating or taking it camping or go somewhere, you can take it. Use your car battery, you can plug it into that. It has great hooks that you can pick it up. Doug and I just brought it right in here. It doesn't really weigh that much, and it's real heavy duty because it can withstand the elements. Now, don't ask me how long one of these kind of barbecue size propane tanks is going to last, because I don't know yet. Here they go around for $15 to $16 for one of these tanks. So we're just going to kind of watch it and see how long it lasts, and we will keep you guys informed on what happens with it. And the good thing about it is we're not kind of pigeonholed into just using propane. So if propane prices go up really high, we can put some solar on this outdoor kitchen and we can go ahead and use it and plug it in to a battery bank. So that was my 8-year refrigeration experiment. Stay tuned for the propane reports. We'll keep you updated on that. And other than that, you guys have an awesome day. I'll see you later. Bye.